Okay, thank you very much, all of you who are watching. It is my pleasure to come back again, and I have something to share. It is the piece of writings that I have taken it from the book of Ngugu Wathingo, which is, I think, the book of yes, some of his books, but I think it is one of his best books. And as we all know that Ngugu Wathingo has very great books, and he wrote very meaningful pieces of writing and very meaningful stories that not only telling stories but telling also the matters and the issues that were happening and that might be still happening, happening, and maybe it can happen in the future. One of the piece of writing that I have taken it says, if you know all the language of the world and you don't know your mother tongue or the language of your culture, that is enslavement. But if you know your mother tongue or the language of your culture and add all the languages of the world or the other languages of the world, that is empowerment. So here he actually means these words. He actually means he wants to emphasize the importance of the mother tongue, the importance of your native language. So maybe some people will describe like some of their mother tongues as like not developed and maybe only oral or something like this. But even if it is oral, it is like we cannot say it is less important. It is more important than the other language that is written and oral, and that you can find through it a lot. Because if we go back to the meaning of the language is not technology, the language is not science, the language has no relation with education or something like this. The language is the means of communication, the means we use to communicate with one another. And so this means the knowledge is in one side and the language is another side. We can get a knowledge whether by the foreign language or by our languages, even if they are oral, because in the past all the languages were not written. A lot of the languages, or as general, the language that was written is a hieroglyph. Hieroglyph is the language that was written the first, and at that time there were no more languages written. So all the rest of the languages developed, written, and used their own alphabets and acquired science from the language that was written, which was hieroglyphs. And so here the language is so important, and I hope that all of you is speaking your mother tongues as the first language and as the most important language for you, and then you can look for another languages. Thank you very much.